Welcome to the Daily Show. My name is JC. I'm going to be your host, and today's segment is going to be something that I call ChatGPT Ask Me Anything.
Go. There's not a man that I fear. There's nobody here that can stop me. Cause I'm in a league of my own, kid. Y'all can just sit back and watch me. They know who I am.
And today I prompted ChatGPT to ask me 5 questions about life. And it prompted some pretty good ones. So let's start out with ChatGPT responded to my prompt and said, sure, here are 5 questions about life for you. Number 1, what does living a meaningful life mean to you? Living a meaningful life mean to me? I think life is an interesting concept because you are guaranteed not to get out alive, and you only have an unset determined time that you have on this planet. And it's pretty remarkable to think about, like, you really don't know when the ending is. You can kind of prepare, you can kind of plan, you can kind of set up these conditions where you can have health care, you can work out every day, you can eat clean, you can not do things like, do drugs or smoke or drink alcohol or have fun. And then you recognize, like, what is the true meaning? Because if it's gonna end and you don't know when it's gonna end, like, you better have a meaningful life. So for me, it's living a life with purpose. Whatever I do, whatever I'm passionate about, I go all in on. And that could be snowboarding, that could be a career like law enforcement that I dove into, that could be filmmaking, that could be daily vlogging. Whatever I do with a purpose, and I'm a complete addict about it. So I try and live in a way that when I look back on my life at the very end, when the very last day, when the train hits me, or I crash the super fast car, or I die of cancer, or I die in my sleep, my heart stops and I go off to whatever the next journey is for me. I look back and I can honestly say that I lived life with purpose, and I went after it. I chose to chase my dreams and the things that I wanted out of life. So that's what I believe is what you need to do to live a meaningful life. Question number 2. Let's back up here. Question number 2. What are the most important lessons you've learned in your life so far? Most important lessons is time. Time is the most valuable asset. I can sit here and talk about assets and liabilities, but ultimately, most of the things that I would be talking about are monetary. It would be like financials type stuff. What I'm talking about, the biggest asset that we have is time. And the reason why that's a huge lesson for me is because when I was 15 years old, my dad and brother were on a motorcycle ride to the Oakland Raiders football game, and they were hit by a car. And my dad died instantly, and my brother survived. And at that very moment, I recognized that we don't have a guaranteed time. We're not sure what is going to happen tomorrow. And whatever you do on this planet, whatever you do in this life that you have, you don't know when the end is. So whatever, like right now, I'm 36 years old. I've got a kid, a wife, and we're traveling the world. Most people are in a career. Most people are like, in 20 or 30 years, I'll do that. And I'm like, I ain't got time. I ain't got time. I need to spend some time right now working on the things that I want to work on and chase the dreams that I want to chase the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I want to accomplish. So I think that's the most important lesson that I've ever learned, was the sheer fact that time is such a viable asset. And I guarantee you, if you ask Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, would you give it all up to be back 19 years old? I guarantee 100% guarantee he would say, I would trade all of my wealth to start over at 19 years old, because youth is it's so valuable. Number 3, how do you define happiness and fulfillment? Happiness and fulfillment, how do I define it? Happiness is something that you wake up and you do, and it just puts a smile on your face. Like, it really truly brings joy It can even bring tears to your, like, can bring like some real emotion. I believe that, you know, if whatever you're doing you're truly happy at, you don't necessarily need to get paid. You don't necessarily need to like there is no monetary return. You would absolutely do it for free. Like the hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos that I've produced, I've gotten paid on absolutely zero of them. And it's something that I don't like. I look back and I'm like, it didn't feel like work. It didn't feel like I was being put out. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like, oh, hey, go dig a ditch. Now, some people might think that digging a ditch is completely happy, and I'm grateful for those people. But what truly happiness for me is literally waking up and doing the thing that I really love, and that just brings me so much joy and fulfillment. I have this crazy habit. I have this crazy energy where people will just, for whatever reason, start asking me questions, and then all of a sudden I start diving in their life and trying to help, you know, kind of point them in the right direction and giving them the tools that I use to get to the point where I'm at right now, where, you know, we're able to, you know, travel the world. And it's one of those things that just, you know, doesn't seem like work, and it brings energy to me. And I think that brings a lot of happiness, a lot of fulfillment, if you can find that passion, and you can find your, what they call your God-given talent. Question number 4, what motivates you to get out of bed every morning? Some days I kind of hang out in bed a little bit. But most of the time, what motivates me to get out of bed is you have this one chance. You have this one opportunity. And I know I might sound like an Eminem rap song, but it's true. Like you really only get so many opportunities. And I think what motivates me the most is chasing the dreams that I have and chasing the things that I want. And a couple of the things that I posted, I don't know, probably a week ago, and it was something very difficult for me to post, was what my true wants and goals were. And they were essentially to be rich and famous and give it all away. And it's crazy to say, but like that motivates me, because if you get rich in the sense of like monetary, money-wise, like you're able to give back so much more. You're not only able to give back your time, but you're also be able to you're able to make a significant difference on a significant amount of people. And fame, if you're famous, then you have like this ability, and you have this sounds weird, but like this power to really affect change, because people will listen to you. It's one of those things that I think a lot of times, a lot of the leaders in this world, they have their own selfish ambitions to mold people in a certain way, and I think a lot of times they're manipulating people in the wrong way. For example, like our college school system, our government-run public education, our prisons, our jails, the way we operate, the government, the way that we get things done. It's solely to manipulate someone else and tricking them into doing something for, someone, an individual, not for the best of the masses. Hopefully that makes some sense. But that's what kind of motivates me to get out of bed every day. If you could change one thing about your life, what would it be and why? The one thing that I would change right now is the little voice in my head that throws any self-doubt in the world. For whatever reason, I put out this energy and people flock to me for advice or guidance or a direction on how I was able to do what I was able to do in my life to be able to get me to where I'm at right now. And they're coming to me and how do you do this? And part of me is hesitant to start a business around doing that. And it's crazy to me. And it's one of those things that I have this self-doubt, even though that's totally selfish. Holding in the knowledge that I have, that I've earned, that I've learned over the last several years, for the last 20 years, is incredibly selfish to me. And it's one of those things that, if I could just get over that, and if I could fix that like today, I absolutely would. Like, it's one of my worst features in my life. Like, I care a lot about what people think, and that's the one thing that I absolutely wish I could delete out of my brain. And it would make my life so much better, and I would be able to give back so much more. So yeah, that's the ending of Ask ChatGPT Anything. Hopefully you've enjoyed this segment of the show. See you tomorrow.
Let's go. There's not a man that I fear. There's nobody here that can stop me. Cause I'm in a league of my own, kid. Y'all can just sit back and watch me. They know who I am, they can't imitate.